adventure call. Hey, hey, what are you saying? Feels like a perfect day. Get lost and find our way. We camp out.
Hey, welcome back, you guys. This is Kevin.
I'm Suzanne.
And this trip has always been about the people. It really has a lot to do with the people that we see and the people we meet. And Tampa was our next stop, and it was no exception. It did not disappoint. We got to reconnect with some beloved friends, and we got to meet some new friends. And we hope you enjoy this episode. Before we get into our epic stay in Tampa, Florida, if you'd like to donate to our cause, donate a wagon for a child, please go to the website. The link will be in the description below. Always, you can subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and share our content so that we create more awareness around pediatric cancer and the work we do out here on the highway to hugs. One of the questions we always get asked is, how do we choose where we stop? How do we choose our locations? And Tampa was really a no-brainer for us for a lot of reasons. Primarily, we know a lot of people there.
We stayed for 3 weeks at the KOA in Palm Harbor, and we got to visit with our old neighbors, the Hirsches. They were so important for Bax when he was first diagnosed. He was diagnosed in 2019 before COVID, so we lived like everybody else does now with COVID, where we didn't leave the house. We, kept our bubble small, and it was so important to have the Hirsches. They've got 4 kids, and 2 of them were close to Baxley's age, and Callie and Ethan were absolutely amazing and so important to Bax's treatment. Children are the best medication when it comes to kids and cancer treatment. He's an only child, so he just wants to play with kids as often as possible, and Callie and Ethan are so great, so good at playing with him. So he was so excited. Anytime you ever ask him what's his favorite state, even before he had ever been to Florida, he said Florida, and it has been absolutely amazing.
Another reason for us to be in Tampa for so long was to speak at one of my friend and clients' events, Amplify. Amplify is an event for female entrepreneurs, and she asked me to speak at it again this year, and so we wanted to be there for that and support her through her event. Suze got to go to it. It was really great to connect with everybody there. It was our first live event really in a couple years because of cancer and COVID. We really haven't been doing live events, and that was kind of what I was doing before. So it was really nice to be back in front of a live audience. So that was probably the business side of things of why we chose Tampa.
There's a pain that's hard to bear. Through it all, I can feel it there. But the water calls me away. I can't breathe underneath these waves. Float away from what's left inside. Keep me safe within this tide. Now there's nowhere for me to run. Lay me down by the setting sun.
In Tampa, we connected with Gage. He's a 5-year-old boy battling leukemia. He was just diagnosed in February of this year, and he's treated at St. Joseph's All Children's Hospital in Tampa. It is actually the first time that we gave a wagon to the family at our camper. So they got to come and see, learn a little bit more about what we do. His mom and dad, they're a police officer and a firefighter. So they are working careers that are so admirable, but also very hard to work remote and be flexible. When your child is going through treatment, it's hard, but they were so sweet. They swung on by on their way home from chemo.
There were some hugs, there were some tears. It really was an emotional connection, and I think Susan and I both felt, she mentioned they're a police officer and a firefighter, and how much we appreciate their occupation, their careers, but also appreciating from a parent's perspective how difficult that must be to go through treatment and still have to be serving the public in ways that sometimes are very rewarding, but sometimes can be very challenging. So we really had conversations around that, and our heart just goes out to them, and we'd like to thank them for their service and for what they do for their community and our community, and we're just praying for them.
We're going to see dolphins.
This is the good life. This is the good life. Follow the desert roads to where no man goes. We can see it all. Drive on through the night and look up at the brightest sky. Can you hear adventure call? Hey, hey, what are you saying? Feels like a perfect day. Get lost and find our way. We camp out in our cars, sleep under the stars. Feels like the world is ours. Oh yeah. This is the good life. This is the good life. There's no better day. It's time to get away. I hear adventure call. Now the world is ours.
So another reason this stop on the leg was so important is because we finished up Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. As you know from our last video, we did our first annual 1-100. We're raising money for wagons for these kids for Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. So 30 days, we had some great captains on our team really helping us raise some money and really do some good for these kids. We learned a lot. We learned, and we're still learning, I think. We learned a lot, and I think that's what it's all about. You know, when we brought the captains in, we let them know, hey, this is our first time. They knew us for a long time, so it was a friendly group of folks, and we just learned a lot about what we want to do next year and how we can make a bigger impact. I think our expectation going in was to raise a little bit of money, and I'll let Suze tell you, but our realization coming out was how much you guys really care about Hug Your People and about the kids we help and the families that we're connecting with. So, drum roll, please. What was our financial grand total for September in raising money for Hug Your People?
$38,980. I mean,
$38,980.
that's amazing.
Now, a little perspective. When we did this for the last 2 years, something like this for Alex's Lemonade Stand, love that organization, and they had corporate matching dollars. We're just not there yet. We don't have corporate matching. So we more than doubled our organic fundraising goal for their organization without corporate fund, without corporate matching, without any of that. And it just blew us away. Your generosity it's just been incredible. We were just blown away. And how many wagons did that fund?
It's 155 wagons.
155 wagons we funded in 1 month.
Amazing.
I think if you would have asked us in August what we would be able to do, I don't think either one of us would have guessed that number. So thank you very much. Thank you guys for supporting us. Continue to support us. You know, it really is. I was telling our captains this. Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month comes and goes, but cancer stays. For a lot of these families, they're just starting or things turn or the outcome changes. So it's important that we not let it be just 1 month, that it's all year round. But we thank you so much for showing up in September. We hope you'll stay with us and keep showing up month after month after month so that we can continue to help these kids. If you watched our Nashville episode, you know that our awning was broken. We had some challenges with that. So in Tampa, we got the solution. So parts are a challenge these days in camping, because it's just like they are in everywhere, really. But finding the right parts, finding people to work on your camper, all of that is a real challenge. So in Tampa, we were able to connect with a few people. They basically said, we'll try to find the part. They couldn't find the part. The first person that came out, we called back. So I went on the internet and I started doing some heavy research. I found a company out of Washington State. They had the part we needed. They had 3 of them, and I bought 2 of them. Because I didn't want any chances. I was like, we're gonna have a.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just a 2-pack.
We're gonna have a backup, and so I realized later that I bought 2 of them. I didn't know at the time. So my intention was to buy 1 of them, but I bought 2 of them, and so now we've got 1 for a backup just in case. But
the truth comes out.
So we found the part in Washington State with a really great company. They were able to ship it to us in Tampa, Florida. I got it. I called the guy that came out to give us the estimate the first time. He was able to come out and install it. They were kind enough to get on our roof, look at a few questionable areas with caulking, patch that up. We got the awning up and running. So that was solved. So now we're back fully operational, full speed. Now, the KOA in Palm Harbor is where we stayed. When we rolled in, they knew of our situation with the awning. Now, we were going from Nashville to Florida. Nashville, the mountains, it's foothills, a little cooler there. The sun doesn't beat down on you quite so hard. So when we got to KOA in Palm Harbor
in September,
they said, oh, well, let's try to find a site that has a little bit of shade. So they were able to hook us up and give us a partially shaded site to kind of keep the heat off the rig for a little bit until we got the awning fixed. So that was super helpful. The only downside to that was the leaves. Leaves got everywhere, but hey, we'll take it. We were a little cooler. So we also had the rig hand washed and waxed while we were in Florida. Driving down the road, you collect bugs. I mean, as in Hoover fashion, it's like the bugs jump in our way, right? So we collect bugs, and because of the wrap on our rig, you can't really drive through a tractor trailer wash. It'll peel the wrapping off. So we had a very nice couple come out and hand wash and hand wax the rig, and it looked fantastic. And they were so kind. They actually left a wagon.
They brought us a wagon.
Brought us a wagon, yeah. So they did the work, and it was amazing. And then they actually felt compelled to bring a wagon so that we could give to a kid. So it really was a great connection to meet them. And what we learned from camping, or I'll let you say what you learned. What I learned from camping is be proactive. You know, just because it doesn't exist doesn't mean it's not out there. Sometimes you got to go across the country to find it and have it brought to you in this world. And so that's what I learned. So I'm not going to wait for things to come to me. I'm going to go find it. What about you? Any ahas in camping? She's so pretty.
Make sure you follow along with us. Next week, we're going to the Keys for my birthday celebration.
It's going to be spectacular. Our campsite is directly on the water, so we're expecting some really great views, some really good times. We're going to celebrate the brain behind Hug Your People and our driving force and our family, so we're excited about that. After that, we go to Auburndale, Florida. We're going to be in the Keys for a week, and then Auburndale, Florida. We'll combine those videos since it is kind of an off week for us next week, and we're going to really reconnect with some people. We've got a secret adventure for backs, a couple actually, in Auburndale that we're excited to tell you about. So make sure you stay tuned and follow along. Thanks for being here and watching our videos and following our channel and our journey on the highway to hugs. We really appreciate it. You are the secret sauce to making this work. And as we always say, hug your people.